Am I live? Am I live here? Let me know if I'm live. Somebody just say, yeah, man, you're live, dude. Please keep this alive. Thank you. Hey, Michael Green, man. How y'all doing? How's everybody doing? Michael, Jerry, Roy, Katie. Hold on. Let me back up. Truth and Justice is here. Overlooking people, T&J. Maybe, no, Caroline is here. Tommy Baker. Pete Peterson. Yeah, it seems like everybody's live now, man. Sarah Lopez. Sarah, how are you? How is everybody, man? I hope that everybody had a fantastic week. I really do. I've had a pretty great week, all things considered. Not too shabby. So I show up. That's Stitchy Wedges, man. Hey, man, what's going on? You know, it's like, bam. Pat, my peeps, how in the hell is everybody doing out there? Well, okay. Here's how it is. It has now been just over 2 years ago when the person that I call a suspect was arrested. And do you realize that he has been the person who I believe to be suspect has been behind bars over half of the time that we've been looking for him? It's true. It's fact. That is what it is. Now, you know, he had his jury trial set for October 13th. That was pulled away. That was completely just dislodged from our reality. Why? Well, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to show you why. Because this man right here, a very well-known Satanist amongst his crowd, sided with the defense that, yeah, me and I just don't think we can just do this. I know it's been 2 years, but golly gee, we have this hoax hitting us. Now it's a second wave. Please, can't we just put this monster's jury trial off out now until, you know, everybody gets vaccinated and becomes a mushroom? Can't we wait till then to do this? Well, I did not agree with this man. In fact, this judge is kind of a POS in my humble opinion. And I'm telling that straight to his little satanic face. But, you know, maybe I'm solo. You know, maybe other people totally agree with this man. But if you do not, right there's his email address. Send him a letter. Do not call him a Satanist. You can tell him that I called him a Satanist. I don't care. But I wouldn't, because you want to keep things friendly with him. But you might want to ask, Judge, if that's your real first name, and I doubt that it is, why are you letting this monster off here? I mean, it's been 2 years, and we got a lot of states looking for him and waiting to talk to him. And we know that you know that you know that. So why don't you get on with it so that we know before we become a mushroom after the vaccine? Judge Joseph Shockley Duker, I don't know how to pronounce that, man. I'd be ignorant if I tried. I think it's Judge Joseph Shockley Duker. I don't know. Maybe it is. You know, in his circles, maybe he's called Dookie or something. I mean, Satanists are odd like that. That's what I've heard. Oh, all right. Right on, man. Okay. So, he was arrested on November 21st, 2018. 2 years ago, just over. Well, he was arrested. He committed the crime on November 19th. He was arrested on November 21st. So that's 2 years and 3 days ago. 2 years, 3 days that I have been repeating myself. Now, I took it upon myself to go back and add the total amount of time that I have repeated myself on this channel. That is one time per week for 2 years at a minimum of 2 hours per. But since I went well over that numerous times, I put it at 3 hours per. And I came up with the grand total of per hours 14 days that I have repeated pretty much the identical. 14 days of me talking solidly without interruption. Unless it's one of those rare videos that gets monetized. I mean, they happen every here and again. I don't even know why. Man, do you guys remember that one where I say here an F-bomb like it was Vietnam and it was napalm? I was just dropping it, man. Every other word. Monetized? Like, what? Wow, I even said stuff about YouTube in that video. Like, you know, well, I said bad stuff about YouTube, but I stand on it. I stand on yeah, thanks, Michael. Yeah, see, man, people remember this. So anyway, I have repeated myself for 2 weeks straight. 2 weeks. Everybody should be on board with this. Okay? Everybody should be clearly on board with what I'm getting to here. Now, this week, I was finishing up the search video, and I started making a second video that goes into the Lost in the Focus series, which is the timestamp video. Hey, what up, Dave? David? How you doing, man? David Bellamy, David Clark, Matt Hildy. Oh, I'm probably mispronouncing that. 47 watching, only 23 likes. What the hell? Okay, I smashed the like. Hang on. Everybody just hit the like while I'm staring at my invisible clock. Hit the little thumbs up down there or down. It depends on who you are. I understand. Maybe you can just go ahead and click that real quick. Thank you guys very much, man. You guys rock, every one of you. Okay, man. Like everybody hit at the same time. All right. So anyway, I started the time stamp video. Now, here is the people that I have in the timestamp video. And everybody, please help me if you know of anything missing out of these people. Okay, firstly, I got the suspect, who I call the suspect, not by name, the suspect. We have the two girls, the lady walking her dog, flannel shirt guy. We have the older sister of the oldest girl and her father, and then the family. We also have Cheyenne and her friend. I believe that that's everybody that we have a stamp of a time upon. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that that is everybody. So I went through, I've got their times, be it stamped on the photo, which is on Cheyenne's, and that is 2:49. We know the time that flannel shirt guy seen him at 2:47. We know the time that Derek got there. We know the time that her father got there to pick the girls up, approximately. We know that he was going to be en route at approximately 3 and called them prior to getting there so they could be at the secondary entrance to be picked up at approximately 3 p.m., which I do believe they were told before they left. Not that it matters, but I believe that they probably were. So that is everything that I have on the time stamp, but I did a remarkable job at this. You say, well, how? How does yours beat everybody else's? Because I have walked from every place to every place with time. Now, let me put it to you like this. Cheyenne arrives at the main entrance, main parking entrance on the west side of Freedom Bridge. Now, she parked there. She had a friend with her. I don't think the friend was in a differing car, but may have been. You know, they may have met there. I don't know that. But I do know that both of them left the main parking area and headed down toward Monon High Bridge and then crossed it. Now, I got the time from the main parking area, walking it all the way down to Monon High Bridge Trail, 16 and a half minutes from there. In a straight walk, not a fast walk, not a slow walk, just a 1 foot in front of the other walk. Just a normal little gait pace walk all the way. Now, I did that, and I can say 16 and a half minutes. But this is what I don't know about Cheyenne and her friend or flannel shirt guy. They didn't get out and walk straight down there. I mean, you know, if you're out to hike, you don't just drag trail. You stop, you talk, you look around, you take in, you know, maybe you take a picture or two. It was probably a little longer, of which I would estimate probably about 2 minutes longer for her to get there than it was for me to get there in a straight line walk. Because I do know that she was at the south side of Monon High Bridge at 2:49. So if I retract that back like 18 and a half minutes, that's about the time that I feel that she got there. Now, I put flannel shirt guy at 10 minutes after that directly. But again, with flannel shirt guy, he doesn't go from one spot to the next. You know, he stops. He looks around. He's chatty, you know. He takes in the trail. He's not a fast walker. He likes to meander about, you know, and see everything. He's very concerned and loves the trail. So I would put it at longer than a 16 and a half minute walk for him, and probably pushing upwards toward 20 minutes. Now, we know the time that he was on the trail, that he saw the suspect, 2:47. Okay, now we know about the time that he got to the bridge, because he saw Cheyenne and her friend on the south side of the bridge. And when he went back and was pretty much like, you know, asked by the eldest girl's father, did you see two young girls down there, down the 501 or down by the bridge? He said, no, I didn't see two young girls. He said, I seen an older couple on the south side, but, you know, they were too old to be the girls they're questioning about. So we have all these set times, and then we can go through it piece by piece by piece by piece by piece and trace together the route and the conduct and where everybody was going and how it all weaved together. And that is that. And it is really just a timestamp of that. The editing should be phenomenal. I know me, and I know how I edit. And when I say it's going to be phenomenal, I bloody well mean it, people. I would never lie to you. I'll look you right in the eye right now. I wouldn't lie to you, man. It ain't me. It ain't. Now, the other night, oh yeah, I'm in my painting shirt, man. I know it looks like 80s metal, don't it? Nah, actually, I was just, I was painting again today, which happens. I got it on my pants too. I know, and you know, I get like all showered and crap, man. I want to look my best on. So anyway, the other night, man, I'm down at a friend of mine's house. You guys may know him. He's the center for the Indianapolis Colts, and he loses to me about 3 times a night in games of chess. Now, we was down there, and it's probably about 11:30 maybe. I'm unsure of the time. I don't even know the channel, but it was that is it Steve Wilkos? And I believe that that's the guy's name. He used to something for Jerry Springer. Maybe he was like security or something like that for Jerry Springer, if you guys know who I'm talking about. He's got his own show, and I knew that. I mean, he's had his own show for a while now. But, you know, we're sitting there playing chess, and I look over at his television, and because, like, there's a show coming on, and they're showing clips of the show before the show. And I look over, man, I'm sitting there, like, watching these people, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, man, it looks like Greeno. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Hey, that is Greeno. That's Greeno, man. And it was the show that when Greeno was on Jerry Springer. There he was, man. You know, just like that. Not Alabars yet, but close. He was on that show again. You know, it was kind of cool to see Greeno. Hey, Jonah. Hey, how you doing, man? Cool cat, man. You know what? You're too much. You're too much, man. I ain't really cool, but yeah. And your beard paint. Now, you know what? Even if I got it painted, man, I got turpentine. I drink a tablespoon of it daily. Keeps me sharp, man. Yeah. You just got to drink a little turpentine every day, man. Get the shit out of your beard with it. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, there was Greeno just like that. And he should be out before too much longer. Say within a couple months, he's out of there. He'll be back making videos and stuff. Katie, let me see. I really do not know. I would assume that they canvassed anyone and everyone, you know, that had anything to do with the place. But I mean, that's my suspicion. I mean, if I was going to go in to solve a crime that's already been committed, and I go in, I'm going to look at everything. In fact, not only do I want to look at everything to get all the material and evidence there, but I want everything canvassed. I want to know what everybody around that entire area seen that day. Anybody that they may know that's seen something. I want to know everything in all minute detail so that it can get a timestamp so that we know who we're looking for. You know, we want the biggest amount of information that we can get to compile it into a source of smaller information that fits the evidence, the criteria, the facts, circumstances, and so forth. But I don't know what law enforcement did because that was never released. We know some of what law enforcement did. I can tell you some of what law enforcement did because they did it at my door. You know, they came to my door and pounded heavily and then asked me, well, oh, yeah. You know what? Very untrue, Sharon. Sharon, let me tell you. God's honest. You know what? I could go get that bottle of turpentine right now, man. Pour a tablespoon and swallow it. And it is, trust me, you think it's going to be different than what it is. It really ain't. In fact, when I take it, there's very little in the way of aftertaste. And it does a person good. I wouldn't say a tablespoon every day, but usually I would do it. If I started, I'll do it for 2 weeks. Kills all parasites in your body, in your stomach, and all so forth. It is not bad for you, but I did not go to college for 8 years to study medicine, so don't listen to me, please. Don't do it. In fact, I would say if you're thinking about doing it, don't. But if you got cojones like this, take a tablespoon, man. You won't die. Ah, man, nobody likes cheap bourbon. Nobody. Yo, thank you, Roy. See, Roy's got my back. No, well, don't drink turpentine. But I say a tablespoon is not going to bother you any. I have. Definitely. In fact, some people will go ahead and mix all of that. Right now, normally each day I will take a tablespoon of cod liver oil. I will follow that with a teaspoon of bentonite. I think once a year I would do 2 weeks of a tablespoon of turpentine, and a lot of people mix their stuff with apple cider vinegar. You know, it keeps your body in a good pH. Anyways, that's like way off topic. Man, look at this hat. See, I got that new one. But, it's a new hat. It's a new hat, man. It's hard to just take on a new hat and be that dude. I will one day, but not yet. All right, let's see. Oh, no. I am not doing that to them. I was being DOB serious. Michael, Sir Michael of the Green family. Yeah, it does not taste good. I don't give for. I mean, I'm not that big into fish. Other people, you know, maybe, but yeah, I usually take it and then I hit my mouth with a teaspoon of bentonite. Yeah, the new one is leather, black leather. This one is like a soaked, I believe it was linen. I mean, I've been wearing this for, I don't know, 7, 8 years, I believe. Somewhere right around in there, like every day. But anywho, I have noticed, and I started taking the cod liver oil, man, because of my eyesight. I go back a couple years ago, man, my eyesight was like super fine. I mean, just, you know, and today, man, I mean, like in order to see the screen, sometimes I need to put reader glasses on. Now everything's fine. Now, if I'm sitting here and it's about 11 o'clock at night, boop, my vision will just be perfect. Can somebody explain that to me? I was thinking must be vitamin deficiency because it hasn't lasted. I mean, it started, but it goes in and out all the time. I don't get that. Hey, Incog's here, people. Incog. Yeah, I think it wasn't waxed. Maybe it was too. I got to remember because I was trying to remember where in the hell I bought this hat. But they don't make this hat. Stetson no longer makes this hat. It is not available in the world. So if you have a hat just like this, size medium, let me know. I'll buy it, hands down, or paws down, depending on who you are. Yeah, please hit the like button, man. You know what? Yes. Incog, I did miss your last video, and I seen the thing of it earlier today, and I will check that out, and I do apologize for missing that when it was live. So, oh, my sugar? My sugar's fine, Sharon. Oh, yeah, I do not have a sugar problem. In fact, last time I got a my sugar's always been fine. My cholesterol is a little elevated, but when I was born, it was elevated at that time. It has not changed. Well, yes, thank you, Michael. But the thing is that I mean, that's why I take the cod liver, because it's got the vitamin A and it's got D3. Now, you know what? I'm a little white. Yeah, look, I'm this far from being an albino, really. So if I go out in this sugar, man, you know, I mean, out in the sun, man, I melt, man. I mean, I just burn, you know, I turn Corvette red, blister, real easy. So if I go out in the sun, usually I at least got like a t-shirt on. I never whip it off to get like heavy amounts of sun, but I should. What up, Dave? Best drummer out there, right there, people. See, and you know what? Whenever she has a show, a live show, Dave's right there. Every single show. And I try not to miss one either. Yeah. Yeah, man, I get that, you know? And Mitch isn't. You know, well, not fully. I don't think Mitch was had any white in him. But then again, I mean, you don't know. I mean, I didn't ask him. What is keto? Going full blown keto? Donnie, what's going on, dude? Still making the video, dude. I'm still at it. I'm doing the timestamp currently. Still making the video. So, anyways, it has been 2 years, 2 very long years. And people want to know. People are tired of hearing about my suspect. And by God, I can't blame it. I can't blame one of you. I'd be tired too. I mean, shit, I told you guys 2 years ago, I am going to be very tired of repeating myself over the next year. That was my thought. Take about a year. No, 2 years. And yeah, 2 years later, nope. In fact, in, a week, I think it's the December 1st, I think. That's when they get together for that modification. Or modification. Well, maybe, what is it? How did they do that? Because they was trying to get the it put off for a time. Maybe it is modification of sorts. But anyway, they delayed the jury trial. But they're going to get together on the 1st of December, smoke some big cigars, you know, drink some high-fashioned bourbon, you know, like the upper echelon stuff that like Satanists really love. You know, that shit that's got like human blood, like right in the mix. You know, they really dig that. And they're going to talk about when they might be able to get him in front of a jury. Yay, Satanist, man. I'll tell you what, I'll move down there and I'll be a jurist if you like. Ain't doing nothing better. Never heard of the guy. Don't know who he is. Yeah, I'll just take your word on what he did, but I'm going to have to hear some compelling evidence. You know, you want to play his shit right. You know? If you're going in to see a guy hung, man, you know, you want to play it right. So, anywho, Judge Duker smoking the cigars precisely is what he does. Well, he does more than that when he's around his close friends. I mean, you know, he likes to drink the blood of his, like, you know, victims out of a skull and let it drip down his face. He when it comes to the Satanist, he is a damn good one. Probably one of the best. Oh, thank you, Pat Carlson. Well, this is my old hat, Pat. The new hat's up there. It's black leather. It looks like this hat a lot, but isn't. You see right here, it's too puffy, man. It sticks up a little bit much. And I'm all like, nah. Even the shadow it puts on my face is different than this one. So when I sit down and I see that shadow, I'm like, nope. Put the old hat on. Can you believe this thing's here? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Can you believe this thing's here? Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Only a couple days. I forgot all about that. Adrenochrome on the rocks. Now, you see, you sound like somebody that knows stuff, man. Getting a shot of the adrenochrome. It does a judge good. Well, you know what? I mean, I don't think that all countries have the Thanksgiving. I really don't. Christmas, maybe, to a degree, possibly. Yeah, me and Puppy's ready. We'll be thankful. We'll say thankful stuff. So, anyways, 2 years. Now, what are we waiting on? You know, what are we waiting on? I mean, seriously. You know, is it for COVID to go away? Really? I mean, look, I'll throw my hands up and just say, screw it, man. I ain't waiting for the hoax to go away. It ain't. It is not going away. It's just going to remain until everybody gets vaccinated and becomes a mushroom. That's how it is. So, you know, what are we waiting for? People, nobody needs to hear me repeat myself. And believe me, if you just want to hear me talk, oh, hell, man, I just turn this thing on 24 hours a day, man. You'll be live in my house if that's what you need. But what else do I need to say? Give me a question that somebody could think, well, he's never answered this. I want to know that. That's what I want to know. That's the questions that I want. Not something that's been asked a million times over 4 years. I've answered that for 2 straight weeks with minor interruptions because of advertising. Believe me, they don't like me. And the same goes back to them from me at 100%. I don't like them. But they do give me a server to work through. Thank you. You know what I need, man? I need my own server. I need my very own server with sponsorships. I need a sponsor. Could anybody name me a sponsor? I mean, I'll try to keep it without any, cussing or anything. I mean, it depends on the sponsor. If it was somebody really cool, like Zippo lighters or a K-bar, that I could work with, man. That'd be cool. Prior Army, man. Oh, yeah, and I was saying that. I mean, you know, what is it, man, that the Pilgrims showed up and them and the Native Americans had a big feast or something. You know, it was something along like that. I don't know. I have no idea. But I know that like on the 25th of November, man, everybody gets like really full on turkey and, you know, all the fixins. That's what I love, man. Love eating, watching a little football and going back home, you know, heading back home to be with Puppy. Oh, man. Katie. There it is. Oh, man, they're too big. They're too big, man. Man, if I reached Dr. Pepper, they'd be like, dude, are you crazy? Man, do you know that guy that was in American Werewolf in London, man? I mean, do you remember him that did the Dr. Pepper commercial? Do you remember that the last thing he ever did was an American Werewolf in London? That's what they'd tell me. They'd say, man, we hung him up, man, by his ankles, man, cut his throat, and Judge Dukier just like drank it, like right off his neck. But gotta shoot a little lower, maybe just a little lower. Oh, you know what? Rose is doing good. She is. Her and I, man, we hang out for probably a couple hours a night. She does not understand me at all. She's never live. And of course, I don't have her email or anything, but I am learning Spanish. El fuego. It's like Rosa. Yeah, she's like really hot. Yeah. You think? Well, you know what? Hang on, let me see. Man, is Dr. Pepper its own entity? I thought that there was a maker of Dr. Pepper. No, apparently not. They are their own little corporation. Huh. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, Rosa is the lady that I'm learning Spanish from. On YouTube, if you put in Learn Spanish 24/7, you'll find Rosa. She's from Spain. Yeah. And she really knows Spanish really well and English. She's super at it. Cat's new squeeze. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, no. Believe me. I'm sure that she is every bit of about 30 years my junior. And Kat would say, no, hon. Don't think so. Yeah, it was. See, man, you know how I learned that? It wasn't from Rose. It was from Malcolm in the Middle. Is she Fuego or El Fuego? Muy El Fuego. Exactly. You know what? I have tried Coca-Cola that was made in Mexico that was with real sugar. My only thing with the Mexican Coca-Cola was it tasted fine, but I didn't think that out of the bottle it had the carbonation. Me? Yes. Wait. In 6 days' time. I was born the same day as Ben Stiller. Same year. If I was to call somebody my Jewish brother, it would be Ben Stiller. Yeah, he married this really hot woman, though. I mean, like super hot, man. I mean, like the kind that only money can buy kind of hot. You know, he got the fame, the fortune, the notoriety, the comedy, the movies, the hot wife. And what did I get? YouTube. I got YouTube. Yep. Precisely. Yeah, the very end. The very end. And a neighbor of mine who plays the center for the Indianapolis Colts, his birthday is one day after mine. In fact, man, had I been born 1 hour and 5 minutes later, I would have been born on the same day as he. Yeah, but puppy's sleeping, dude. Yeah, puppy is sleeping. And I do have a puppy. Love puppy. I'm thinking about naming him Vlad the Impaler because all he does is bite me. I really can't answer that, Donnie. I really can't. Lawyers take an oath to be in the bar, which is the British Academy of Registration. I know that in like 1776, we fought a war over that, and we wasn't supposed to have esquires elected to any office. And then the War of 1812, when they took shit over, they're like, yeah, you know, we ain't doing that. We want them in your business. So lawyers, just by a matter of being a registered lawyer, means that they're just compulsive liars. They work for the state, which is against you. Think about that. The prosecution, the judge, and your lawyer are all on the same side, wanting the same thing from you, but it's in how much you're going to give to them is what the lawyer can help you with. Now, you have to pay that lawyer all of that money to lower this over here. And that is the truth. That's the truth right there. So, oh, no. Hold on. Did that. Done it. Done that. In fact, I could go to his box right now and pull out that deer antler. Yeah. And I found it too, man. It's a real nice deer antler. And he likes it, but he didn't know what to make of it, man. He'd walk up to it and then back away and then go up and smell it. And I mean, he kept doing that for a long time. And while he'll chew on it, he wants to play, man. He brings it to me, which is a little weird. I mean, you can't really tug of war with it. Believe me, man. He's got like a pile of toys like this big. What do I really think will happen? And they will set it, but I believe it will probably be like summer of next year. At least after May, in all likelihood, because they'll give some rinky-dink thing like, well, man, that COVID's out there, and look around. People are dying everywhere you look. We can't now because people are frightened. People are wanting their injections. That's how Satanists talk. Believe it or not, that's how they do it. And they'll tell you things like, what do you mean you want to see people? What's wrong with you? Do you not watch the news or the internet or the radio? Everybody's dying. I know of no one. I don't know anybody that's died. I don't know of anybody that had it. I know people that know somebody that knows somebody that had it. I know people that know somebody that tested positive. Did they die? No. Well, then what's everybody so concerned about? The flu? Catching the cold? I mean, what the fuck is it? They're going to close the world down and forcefully give you a poison that changes your DNA. Everybody's fucking cool with that. Sounds cool to me. Okay. Well, they can flip a switch and kill every fucking one of you. Have a good one. Remember that. Came out of the mouth of cat. Who does not lie, or if I do lie, I don't do it very well. It's always been a hoax. It's never been real. That was determined really fast after they came out with it. I kept myself in solitude, completely quarantined from everything and everyone for over a month's time. I threatened the center for the Indianapolis Colts that if he was to come up and touch me, that I was holding my K-bar. Don't do it. Stay away from me. And then it started showing. It's like on Fox News, coffins stacked one on top of the other. Outside, we're running out of room to bury people. Who? Who do you got to bury? Why did you need a hospital on the East Coast and the West Coast? What was up with all the ventilators? Everybody remember that horse shit? Remember, man, the hospitals are packed with people. Crickets. Nobody's in the hospital. It was all a lie. And what did they do? Just like I said last spring, they're going to come around this fall with a big outbreak, the second wave. Boop. There it is. Why? Because this is what I did on my old channel. That's why my old channel was so big. This is what I talked about. This is what I miss. Because now, today, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing that. No, today, I'm repeating myself on Delphi, which got old about 2 years ago. I wanted it going then. Well, yeah, you know what? If everybody would stand up, throw the mask away, go to work and go, oh, excuse me, you will fire me if I don't? If everybody did that, this time tomorrow, they'd go, COVID has suddenly went away like the wind. As fast as it came in, it left. But now we got to watch out for these because these virus, they're going to do anything to sell this shit. Anything to sell it. The president will get up before the world and get an injection of distilled water. And everybody go, I'm getting mine too. I want to be like Trump. Or maybe it's Biden. Man, maybe you want to be like Biden. I don't know. I don't know why you want to be like Biden. Well, no one died in the first wave, you animal. No one died then. No one died of this. If anybody died of this COVID-19, which I am telling you right now, it was last year's flu. You know, the flu comes around every year. And every year you can catch the flu. Why? Because the flu, like all viruses, mutates. That's why you can get it this year. And it'll mutate, and then you can just catch the exact same bug next year, just differently mutated. So that your body doesn't have the antibodies to stop it. There it is. Now, anybody that dies of the flu dies of complications from the flu. The flu doesn't kill them. It's the complications of having flu that kills them. Now, if they have a lowered immune system, if they are in poor or dying or very bad health and they catch the flu, then they can die. Now, if you look at the statistics of people who are dying from COVID, they're all over 77 and had health or life-threatening conditions, firstly. It's bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit. In fact, so much bullshit that I have said time and time again, I want to catch it. I want to catch it. And I want to sit right here and go, oh, guess what? I got the COVID. I'm not dying. I don't need a respirator. I'll be just fine. Thank you. Yeah, it ain't even the flu. Believe me, anybody gets it that tests positive, man, they're all like, no, he didn't die. He didn't feel good for a couple of days. Yeah, it's called like having a psychosomatic condition. That's what it is. You got COVID. Oh, man. Yeah, you got to go home, man. You got to quarantine yourself away from people, man, so you don't spread this nasty virus and kill off the world. I will, man. You bet, man. I'm heading home right now. I'll spray my ass with Lysol. There ain't nobody going to get this off of me, sir. I'll guarantee you that. That's what it's all about. And the longer that people sit and watch TV and the internet and anything that tells you what the election results really are or what COVID's really doing, 250,000 people died. My ass. Show me somebody with it. Have you ever noticed that of all these people dying, has anybody ever seen one of these people on TV that has it, that is sitting there suffering from it? Never see that. You never see these people that have it. All these people died. Who are they? Give me their names, man. Give me their ages. Give me their medical condition prior to. That's what I want to know. Because when doctors are getting paid $40,000 to say somebody's got COVID, everybody that goes in his office will have COVID. That's called buying the vote. It's called playing a fast one. And when it's global, okay, and when it becomes that big that they will lie to the world with a straight face, I told you, it's time to be scared. It's time to be scared now. Coup's already on. Best you can do if you're sitting there as a corporation with an all capitalized name, you can either A, start digging for China, or B, get yourself redeemed. There it is. And if you have no idea what redemption is, and I'm not talking biblical at this moment, but I'm talking from a corporation to a natural person, then what they do to you, they're doing to you as a corporation because they can. You need a haircut. I don't. I don't need a haircut. Okay, I did not see any of that. That was never shown to anybody in this country, to my knowledge. I never seen anybody suffering or on ventilators. Did not see it. Maybe Italy caught a bug that did not get here. That's what I got to believe. The people that get it right now, they ain't on ventilators. I don't know of anybody in Kokomo that's on a ventilator because they got this hoax virus. No one. I don't know anybody. Of all the people where it took over Tyson up here in Logansport, nothing. I don't know. I don't know anybody that knows him. Yeah. You know what? I would agree with you on that because it's any way to sell it, that, you can die with COVID. You know that, it's not that you're going to get COVID and die. Unless, like, let's say you're 77 and you're not too far from death at the time, then COVID and complications of COVID, excuse me. There I go again, talking like everybody, when I try to never do that. There is no COVID. If there is such a thing as COVID, it was the 2019 flu virus that they said, well, this is different than last year, right? We don't, this is like newly out there. So what we're going to do is patent this virus. Now we're going to call it COVID. We're going to give out a lot of horse shit. We're going to scare the living F out of everybody in the world. And we're going to maintain this until everybody in the world gets vaccinated by us, the owners of their asses. That's how it really is. Now, for me to say somebody died of COVID, what I'm talking about is the flu. That is what I'm talking about. Ain't nobody like going to need a damn ventilator for the flu. Look at all these people that have it. It killed 250,000 people. That's 250,000 people in a country with 350 million people in it. Don't know a damn one of them. Don't know of anybody that knows somebody that died of it. It's all bullshit. Stand to it. Have them send me a letter and show me the person's name who died from it. Ivy, if you don't mind. I'll throw up my email. If I can find my email. There's my email. Send it right there to MrCat420 at gmail.com. Mr. KATT 420 at gmail.com. I check that address probably about 5 times a day. And if you want to reach me, right there it is. Well, wait a minute. Let me do this correct. Let me see now. We're here. Email me. I check it like 5 times a day. I get back to anybody that emails me. Want to reach me? Don't call. Don't call. Unless I send you an email that says, hey, call me. And I say that for a reason. Now, it's not that I mind talking to people. In fact, when somebody calls and I don't know them, I'm kind of surprised. I'm like, yeah, what do you need? What question can I answer? But don't do this. This happened this week. And apologies go out to this person, but here's what it was. Somebody had called. They had a boyfriend, and man, have you ever heard somebody's voice where you just know that voice, and you know that voice, and I'm like, yeah, well, this is him, okay? And she starts going off on this, and she mentioned something about beating some guy's head in, go back some years. I said, well, does this guy have a criminal record? Well, yeah. And I'm like, well, see, then that isn't the guy. What do you mean? Look, man, Trooper Riley told me it's like that this suspect is never. Well, that's cops. Cops could be lying. Well, yeah, hang on. You got to hear me out here. And she keeps talking and talking. And I'm like, hey, now look. Now, look, man, I got like multiple sclerosis, man. If you can't respect that, let me click. That was as far as it got. If you have a person of interest in the Delphi crime, Evansdale, Mary Pryor and Ann Pates in Michigan, if you have a person that you feel committed any one of those acts, any one of them, any one, and you're going to reach me about it, have the evidence, have the facts. Don't have a thought, I think, that don't play in my world. Those thoughts do not play. I want some facts. I want some evidence. I want some reasoning behind it. I want some real fundamental truth and circuit. I want everything. If you don't have that, don't call me about your person of interest. I will answer anything on the crime. I won't even throw in my suspect's name unless that's what it is that you're looking for. But if you need any questions answered on the Delphi crime like that, I'd be the guy to answer. But again, email me first. Let's don't, Jump over that. Where's Bantry? There he is. What up, Bantry? Well, yes, you're right. And yeah, for real. And I tell him that. She said that she had reached the hotline like 6 different times. And I'm like, yeah, that ought to tell you something right there. Trying to pull me into your side right there without having any evidence aside of, well, I know that voice anywhere. Well, my response to that is this: 70,000 telephone calls to the hotline. How many of them knew who it was? None, aside of me. Now, of those, because the sketch got a lot of reactions, as did the picture, but the voice got a lot of telephone calls. Believe me, I think everybody and their half brother was calling in going, dude, I'd know that voice anywhere. Absolutely anywhere. It's Harry J. Jones. This is people, man. Look, I had never called anything in until I was dead certain of what it was I was talking about. I wasn't calling in to get no reward. I don't want no reward. Well, I take that back. If there's a citizen reward, would accept, but not the FBI reward. If I was even handed that reward, $250,000, I would split it in half and give it to the police and the families of that town. In either case, it's $500,000. I would throw that away right in front of you. You would see me live take it to them and hand in the money, because that is the way that should operate. Now, in the citizen reward, if there is one in Delphi, and I don't even know that there is. I don't think that there is, but there could be. I mean, that would be fine. And the same goes with the citizen reward in Evansdale. That would be fine. They bumped that from 20 up to 50 after I had called. So I says, well, clearly nobody's called in, right, that they know of. But the cops ain't going to tell the people, just like in Delphi, the cops are not going to tell the people who did it until they can. So, a citizen reward, I would accept. The big reward, no, because that would never belong to me. $500,000, please. I don't even know what I'd do with $500,000. I have no idea. I get along just fine, but I don't need $250,000. I don't need $500,000. Holy shit! But 50,000, and let's say over here is 20,000, 70,000 minus taxes. Yeah, that'd be okay. That'd be all right. Yeah, but you know what? I don't. It probably. Oh shit, man! I'm sorry, Michael. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I think that the person that should write the book is Sheriff Lesenby. I think that, being on the inside through all of this time with the FBI and so forth, I think that he would have, he could be helped to write. I don't think that the sheriff is a writer, but I think that in some areas, if they wanted him to write a book or he was writing one, they would definitely have somebody to come in and, help with the writing as far as the writing aspects go. But I would like to see Sheriff Lesenby write a book. I think that he would be the guy to do it. Mine, if I was writing a book, it would be a YouTuber's looking at it point of view. But when it's law enforcement, that would mean a hell of a lot more. Yeah. In that way, yes, maybe, but I would not use anything as far as like calling myself a criminal investigator. I'm not. I'm a criminal profiler, maybe. In that realm, I could certainly do criminal investigation, but I'm not doing that. I mean, you know, do you see where I'm at? Now, as YouTube goes, I have followed it since day one. I mean, absolutely. Day one being the 14th. Wait, maybe that's day two, you know, but that's when I saw it and was kind of notified, and I got Greeno over here, and we just started right away on it. Oh wait, what did Ivy say? Man, okay, I missed that part. Sorry, Ivy. Yeah, well, that I can't agree with. Oh wait, not that. Hold on, man. Wait a minute. There it is. Yeah, having it locked up. Yeah, I do got that. You are right about that point. But again, even in as much, still, what do? I repeat myself. Very weak. Which sounds like a bad thing. But really, when it comes time to do the video and sit here and go live, man, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, like, I do enjoy coming on and, you know, telling you people what I know, because I don't know everybody in the world yet. But give me time. No, I did not. Now, you know, I wish that I could go back and get the videos from my old channel. Because, man, I had like 738 videos on that channel, and it was 4 times larger than what I got now. And I really like that channel. Now, at the get-go, because this is what surprised me concerning all of this. You know, one, that it happened in Delphi. But it's like right up the street from my dad's house. You know, this is on County Road 300. My dad lives on the country road 200. You see where I'm at? It's like right up the street. Now, I'd been out that way, through that way, around that way. Did not know that there was a trail there. But, I mean, I was never looking for a trail. I mean, shit, this is Indiana. If I want to go out and hike in the woods, man, I can just go pick a spot and go hike in the woods. Don't necessarily need a trail. But I was... and me and Greeno was talking about that, because that's what I asked him. It was one of my first questions. Have you ever been there? No. You grew up around there and didn't know it was there? No, never have. I've been out that way. Never been back on that trail. Now, when I look back on it, I wish that I knew that it was there, because that is a beautiful area, man. It is. It is historic. It is beautiful. It takes you back in time. Literally, it takes you back in time when you go there. I mean, like when you walk down to the bridge and you walk like the 505 down where you're below the bridge and you're looking up, it is historic and beautiful. You know, there is a reason that there is a trail there. And, you know, it's me and Greeno, man, when we was talking, you know, it's like, man, if I knew that was there, my ass would have been back there a lot of the time, especially through my drinking years, you know, would have been back there camping out under the bridge or something, man, just, you know, shooting coon. Well, not at the trail, but off the trail. Probably would have said, hey, Mr. Logan, you know, care if I go back here and coon out? Well, yeah, but kind of take that a little lightly. I mean, it looks like it's rather vast, but it really isn't. As an example, and I say, now this isn't everything, and I ain't trying to point that out, because really, you know, up there where the helicopter is, you're looking over a very large area, but you're really only looking from Country Road 300 down. Okay, like here's Country Road 300. Then you got the little bitty sliver of property, and then there's Deer Creek going through. Well, the trail's to the left over here, from County Road 300 down to the Wildcat. From Freedom Bridge to Monon High Bridge on the right-hand side, if you're walking to, that's the trail area. You know, it's not that big. The area of acres in that trail is less acres than the property of land that I currently lease. The property where I sit right now is bigger than the entire trail. But it looks big. Now, I go back, and of course, there were people, don't want to give any names. It's like, whoa, they could have taken him and then brought him back. Like, how? You're looking at a square mile with cops going around it, and every person that lives there that knows two girls are missing, watching everything all night long. Nobody could have went back in there and put them in without people seeing. No one. Nobody. Ain't no way. Yeah, and that they were. I agree with you. And it was cool seeing that. But again, that was on the 14th, and it looked like it was after the time that the girls had been. Of course, it was, because you had all the police cars right there at the cemetery. But I wish, had they went out the night before with a helicopter, that might have changed things. But again, if I was to put myself in the mind of law enforcement at that time, my thoughts would have been, okay, here are two girls that are very familiar with this property. One of the girls lived right off of that south side of the bridge, right down the private drive back out toward County Road 200, approximately. I don't want to say exactly where, is where one of those girls had lived. She knew the area, and so did the older girl. They both knew that the people right there, the lay of the land around that trail. Both of them did. And I would have been thinking, well, there's no signs of foul play. We know they know the area. If they were lost in the woods around Deer Creek right here, they would have came out to the search party. So I would have been thinking, like, are they here? It wouldn't have been my thought that they're lost in the woods. I would have said, no. Inside my head, I would have thought, no, they know this area. If they were lost, they could have went just in any direction and hit a country road that fast, that quick. They know on which side of the creek they're on. They know, okay, this is the creek. Let's turn around and head the other way. We'll be at a country road in a few minutes. It just wouldn't have, it wouldn't have set well to me that they were lost in the woods. I think that my thoughts would have been, they may have gotten a car with somebody that they knew and trusted, and that person abducted them. That would have been a thought. But I wouldn't have thought that they were killed and left there. Look, this is Delphi, Indiana. That don't happen, man. In the last 4 years, and let me tell you, in the last 4 years, the murder rate in Carroll County has skyrocketed, because I can name 9 people who have been murdered in Carroll County in 4 years. A county of 20,000 people, 9 people who have been murdered. In fact, the one, man, where the guy set the house on fire, that's like right up the street from me. Man, I thought it was like way out there. I don't know, man. Me and my brother was going out to Dad's house, man. I was all like, wow. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's where there's. I'm like, you're kidding. You just go right out here, man. Just like head north out of Burlington, man. There it is. I was like, wow, man. Shit. Kind of crazy, man. 66 likes. And 71 people, man, you 71 people rock. You do. Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? And not only that, man, you remember the one girl that committed suicide down in Clinton County? Got that. Yeah. Bloody Chicago. Man, dude, I'd be getting out of there, man. I would get out of any large city right now, because the coup is on, and believe me, the last place you want to be is in the big city, because when it hits the fan, there is no escape. No escaping, man. Well, I say that, but man, couldn't you go down the sewer and shit? Yeah, that'd be kind of a hasty retreat, but I don't know. It seems like a way to get from one place to the other without being killed. I'm not fully up to date on how those are handled. Exactly. I mean, say as an example, man, if I was the sheriff of Carroll County, small county, it is a small county of 20,000, but we have the highest, what is it, man? It's the highest swine farming or something like that, man, where people like raise pigs. It's like the highest in the nation. And you would think if you went to Carroll County, it would be nothing but pigs, right? No, man. No. You see a hog nursery every here and again, but kind of crazy. I always wanted a little pig. Little piglet, man. Yeah. Name him something really cool, man. Something really awesome. Yeah. That'd be just cool as shit. I'd carry him around like he was a kid. Hey, man, see my son Piggy? Huh? Kind of looks like he's old man a little bit there, doesn't he? Yeah. got that snout like he's old man, Yeah. Now, multiply that times 40,000 to get the doctor's salary. Yeah. Yeah. That's all you got to do. Multiply times 40,000. Look at how much they're pocketing every day. Yeah. Like, today 20,000 people with COVID came in. Look at the money I made, Ma. It's how they play it, man. I want COVID. Look, I'll go to a grocery store, man. I'll look for anybody that looks infected and start looking at all the shit they pick up, man. I don't care. I will catch this mysterious hoax virus one way to another. I will, because I want it. I want to get it. I want to be like, see, guess what? Not in the hospital. Yeah, not on no ventilator, nothing like that. Hell no. Of course I want it. I want to sit right here and go, yeah, that's right. I got it. Am I ventilating? No. Is it all bullshit? Yeah, I got the flu, people. There it is. Yeah, micro pig. Nah, I don't want no micro pig. I want a big pig, man. I want one that's like 600 plus pounds. I want to make like a cement walkway for him to enter the house. I want to give him like his own couch to lay on. I'll make like a bed, man, with like a platform, man, metal where he can get up onto it. God, it'd be great, man. That food bill would be crazy, though. I don't even know what would you feed a 600-pound pig? A friend of mine had a little pig. I forget what his name was. She never brought it over, though. It could be me with pork chops that she was afraid of. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, for real. Died of cancer. He had sniffles. COVID. 40,000. Died of old age. COVID. If they had the sniffles, man. Yeah, they are. They are smart. I mean, believe me, man. Pigs are smart. I mean, they're different than a dog. I mean, I don't know, how do you say something learns? I don't really know how a pig learns or a dog. I mean, I could suggest toward, but it's just like cats. Cats aren't stupid, but they don't think like a dog either. I mean, most cats don't really answer to a name. You can say, hey, kitty, kitty. Yeah, it'll come to you. But there's a lot of smart animals, but animals don't really think alike in many ways. You know what? I think that was Donnie when him and I were driving over there to the Monon High Bridge. We was going down my dad's country road, and I said, this is kind of like Dunkard Holler, man. Mainly right down County Road 200 is a lot of Amish. And Carroll County has quite a bit of Amish. But my dad is totally down with the Amish, man. My dad is like a horseman, totally. Totally a horse dude. Me, not so much. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to, Sean. Believe me, man, I'm trying to catch this shit. Hey, man, Ryan Hadley. Yes, I have. Believe me, I worked at IPC for a year. I've heard some pigs scream. I believe you. Yeah, Midwest. In fact, I think the highest amount per capita of state would probably be in Pennsylvania. A lot of Amish in Pennsylvania. In fact, if I trace my family history back, man, it goes back to Frankfurt, right up the road from me. And then, but that was Dave Stroop, but he was son of Simon Stroop, who was born in Highland County, Pennsylvania. Wait, no, wait, that might have been Ohio, but it borders Pennsylvania. No, man, you're not going to hear me scream. And aside of that, there's a lot of things as far as screaming goes that you really can't. How do I put it? If somebody was to scream on the south side of the bridge, and and every so many, like say 20 feet, then do it again, then 20 feet further, till they got to the place where the crime occurred. If you are at the beginning of the trail out toward Freedom Bridge, you ain't gonna hear crap, man. You ain't gonna hear that. Probably. I mean, if you heard somebody yell, but again, here's the thing. It works well in a movie. A person sees a gun or danger, and they like hysterically scream. Man, if you walked up to anybody and pulled a gun and said, listen, they're going to freeze and they're going to listen. They're not going to see a gun and just go, hysterical and screaming. They want to live. They're not going to scream. But I think that everybody believes that the girls screamed, and I don't know that they did. Now, I'm going to say that they may have yelled at least one in response to what she saw. But I think that it was very brief. I mean, any kind of sounds like that would have been relatively brief. The guy wasn't there to be caught or, to be seen, heard, thus forth. I don't think that any screaming went on, but Greeno did on his channel, and that's, different than this channel by a long minute. Yeah, I heard somebody else mention that, but I really do. Yeah, I was going to say, I believe that that's just really tabloid. 2 a.m. in the morning. Who in the hell's out screaming on a trampoline? You know what? Maybe you want to check their blood, make sure that they're okay. Because if they're out there at 2 o'clock in the morning, anywhere near that trail, jumping on a trampoline, you're probably a little older than a kid and probably a little liquored up at the time. Yeah, well, right. Exactly, Dave. Now, here's the thing. If it's a young girl, these were girls, man. They were not expecting, nor was anybody else expecting anything like this to happen in or around Delphi. Now, if somebody walks up to you with a gun and says, listen to me, listen very carefully to what I say, you're going to listen to what they say, because now you are under threat of, I will kill you if you don't. What do you want? That would be my response. Would I scream? No. Would anybody in their right mind? No. Why? Because you know that this guy has a gun. He's not harmed you, but he can harm you, and is saying he will if you do not comply with what he says. Well, I know that if I scream, that I'm going to put myself and my friend in danger of being shot right there on the spot. I don't think, well, you say instinct, but again, I look, I've had a gun pointed at me. I had a guy pull one out and put it right in my face. I did not scream. I was breathing a little heavy. I'm like, hey, dude, calm down, man. Maybe you don't want to be using that on me, okay? We say instinct, but again, we could confuse instinct with what we've seen in every show and movie we've ever seen. I think that it would work quite a bit different than what we believe. Well, and that could be too, crazy cat lady. That could be. But again, it's one of those things. Well, did you hear about somebody screaming at 2 o'clock in the morning? No, did you? And how did you hear this? Did law enforcement say it? Or did somebody else say it? Because after things get past person to person to person to person, after a minute, it just becomes tabloid. It does. Hey, Brandy, how you doing, man? Ain't seen you in a minute. Yeah, well, precisely. Well, you say caught off guard, but that's very true in a way. I mean, look, man, if you're 13 and 14 years old, if a girl, and you're at a trail, and people know where you are, well, you're at a trail. This is where good people go to hike. If a guy walks up to you and says, hey, listen, I need you to turn around, come with me real quick, and then pulls a gun and has one and says, listen, I got a gun, and this is what I need from you. Do as I say, or I will kill you. You understand? What do? Well, a person could say, well, when they see a gun, they'd scream. Are you sure? When I was 13, if somebody pulled a gun on me, I would not have screamed. I'm not a female, but I don't think that sex really makes a big difference here. I don't. It could be. A person could say instinct, and I'd go, yeah, maybe so, maybe. But nobody heard that. If somebody heard those girls scream, anybody. Now, right there is Cheyenne. To my knowledge, the first person to ever get to that south side after those girls was Cheyenne. Okay? Now, if anybody had a gun pulled on them, even a young girl, I mean, again, it's kind of one of those things. If the guy's walking up, he seems like a hiker, he seems good-natured and so on, and then pulled a gun, well, what are you going to do? I mean, I would certainly believe that those kids had seen a gun in a family member's hands before. This is Indiana. Everybody's squirrel hunt. Yeah, exactly. I think you watch on the wall. Cheyenne didn't see or hear anything. That's right there in the caption. So I don't know that it was that they screamed. If they did, let me kind of backtrack this a piece. From where the crime scene is on the north side of Deer Creek, if you was to walk from that spot where the crime had occurred and you headed west, right back up the north side, right across Logan's property and across Mears, back to the 501 trail, from the spot of the crime to the 501 trail is a 6.5 minute walk. 6.5 minutes from here to back to the 501 trail. Now, in that 6.5 minutes, Cheyenne walked by the guy before he got out of the woods. Whereas flannel shirt guy coming in 10 minutes behind Cheyenne, they walked by each other. That means that he was coming across that north side while Cheyenne was walking up to the bridge. He seen Cheyenne. He didn't want to be seen by anybody. So he held his position, then left on the 501, then crossing paths with the flannel shirt guy. Cheyenne didn't see him. Yeah, well, exactly. But she was the first person to get there. Now, if the girls, let's say Cheyenne and her friend are getting out of the car, and let's just assume for a minute, and I'm not stating that this is the way it happened, but let's say they get out of their cars and they're walking toward Freedom Bridge. Now, from the spot where the crime was committed, one of those girls screamed. Cheyenne would never hear that. You cannot. You got the sound of the highway. You got all of that woods. That is probably well over a mile of woods. And then you got a 70-foot gully that they're down in with that hill facing west toward you. You would never hear that from Highway 25. Nobody would. Oh, yeah. Please smash it, people. Watch on the wall. Man, you need to mod. I don't know. Tell me. What can a phone ping logarithm over 12 months from one phone tower tell you? I don't know. I'm not sure. We could probably maybe ask that in a little different way. I mean, so that I'm kind of in a people's habit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm with the people's habits. Sure. Yeah. You know, it's my assumption. I'm assuming here because I do feel that the suspect was up to date on technology to the degree that he did not take a functional cell phone with him. I believe that he may have had a recording device, and I say that for a couple of reasons. One is this: serial killers like to relive that moment, and that's why they like to take pictures. You know, and I thought if he had like a way to capture video, you see where I'm at? Because he went there solely for the reason of finding a victim. You know, and in doing that, in knowing that today could be that day where he comes across them because he wanted it to be that day, I believe that he would have carried a way to record the crime. And I believe that with his clothes and everything else were kept probably in a hidden compartment somewhere away from a place where his wife or other people could not find them readily. And that may have been what was under his house. Was it part of that and other crimes? You know, because when I say Delphi, I don't mean just Delphi. I also mean Ann Pates, Mary Pryor, Evansdale. You know, there's a lot of, you know, and again, I think I'm scratching the surface of what all he's done. I mean, hell, I could go down to Tennessee and include Susan Collins. I could look at the East St. Louis serial killer. That started in 2003. Guess what? He moved from Flint down to Jackson County, Missouri, 2003. That's when it began. And what do, man? If you need somebody to, how do I put it? Not coincidence, but like where opportunity shows itself. Okay. Well, how do you go find opportunity if you live in a big city? Well, same way most serial killers do. They go to a prostitute, you know? So there, he could pick up a prostitute, take them to the stroll, which is the area where people took the prostitutes, where they wouldn't get caught. And it was like in abandoned buildings, you know, all abandoned ghetto. And they were leaving these dead victims in abandoned houses. So that makes me think, sounds a lot like our guy. But we don't, there is no way to kind of confirm that because we don't really have, aside of the fact that these women were killed, we don't have how they were killed. So I can't rule that out, but I can't rule it in either. What did I say something wrong on that? I did mean relive it. If I don't know if I didn't say that, but yeah, that's that was what I was getting to there. Okay, I need to know what that is. If somebody could help me. Correct. You're right. Yeah, certainly. But I kind of look at it like this. I don't think anybody knew. I don't believe that there was a soul alive that knew anything that he had did aside of himself. I don't think he was telling his friends. I don't think he got drunk and told people. The guy was very quiet and unassuming, very friendly guy. If you look at these pictures, the last thing you would think he would do is like the Catholic supply store. I mean, even the people that knew him says like, I never would believe that. He was a damn good guy, man. Friendly dude. So I think that when law enforcement from St. Louis got a hold of Carroll County, that was the first that we heard it. That was the first time I'd heard his name. And that's when I went looking into it. He was a person of interest that was acknowledged by law enforcement of St. Louis County, that was put forth in the media, and was really never discussed thereafter by law enforcement in Delphi or Carroll County. Now, they completely stopped me from going to a second-year reunion. No. Bobby woke up. Shh. Be quiet. And Jonah, you rock. If you got a question, throw it up. He's going to start whining, man. Just give it a second. I'll be pulling him out here in a moment. I'll get him some, he's like all video ready. Hold on. Let me back this up a piece, Watcher. I do want to see what you is it about him walking past flannel shirt guy? Trying to scan back here. Hey Carl, how you doing? Or is it scanner info? The scanner info, if you want to see the scanner info, it's online. If you go to Google and you put in Delphi, Indiana double murder scanner info, it will pull it up. Now, here's the thing. Somebody says, well, they took that right off of the and so forth. That may be. Now, I want to point this out because in that, and I do believe that there was something about cigarettes, about a cigarette butt being found. When me and Greeno went out there the very first time, which was literally a couple of days after the murders, like it wasn't on the 14th, wasn't the 15th, was probably the 16th, we were out there. And I was looking down the trail, because it's like a walkway, that you take from Freedom Bridge down to Monon Bridge. It's where the train tracks used to be. There were cigarette butts everywhere. There were cigarette butts from everybody who had walked there, man, that smoked. I mean, they're all on the ground right there. Anybody that hiked that day, that week, that month, that left a cigarette butt behind, even if it was fresh, could have been from that. Now, people really take that to be like, well, the guy was smoking and that's how they got his DNA. Well, okay, but here's the difference. Who, and answer me, who, even serial killer wise, would wake up one day and say, I'm just going to go kill people. I'm just going to go pick some unlucky, unfortunate person and kill them. Just like that. I just feel like it today. Really nobody. A person always has a motive behind the actions that they go commit like that. And I believe that, in knowing who it is now, I believe that this happened for a very long time prior to. I don't think he was 35, which would still put that 20 years ago. 20 years ago, because I can point to Mary Pryor, which was in 1997, and Dan Pates in 1999. That's like 21, 22, 23 years ago. I believe it goes way back before that. Well back beforehand, out to California. Oh, man, I missed something there, Bantry. And I'm trying to keep up with chat. My friend down the way says, man, well, if you looked over at chat more often, what do you think I have moderators for, man? Right. Okay, I got you. In the water. Yeah. And I don't think I'm fully up on this. Let me kind of go back a little bit more here. And now once I scroll back down, man, I'm going to miss a lot of crap. I would hope they don't. And if they do have a press conference, I hope it's because that they're announcing a suspect. But, you know, it don't seem right to me. I don't think that they have time. I mean, like, let's say 1st of December, they go, well, we're going to sit this out a couple months. So we're going to set this for, I mean, let's just say they set it for late January of 2020. Well, they're still never going to get that. Try and get the people down there and question him in order to release the suspect by February 13th. That's my thoughts. And I don't think that they're going to have this trial until sometime into May or after that. And believe me, if that is the case, you'll never know who it is. You have wasted your time, same as me, for 4 years, even pissing with it, because you will not know. The world will be a mushroom by that time. We will be fungus. Well, I won't be, but others will. Nah, man, dude, I got the greatest mods ever, man. Well, yeah, what is the source? You know, what is the source? My thought was this, off the bat, you know, upon seeing the pictures of the guy, you know, of the killer in Delphi, when we first seen that, and then we got the audio, I thought, well, okay, here's an older guy that I am assuming at that time did not know them, because if he did, and right here's the pictures, anybody that knew the girls or, you know, would say, hey, that's so-and-so, you know, they would know who it was from the pictures. So I assumed that this man did not know those girls, but those girls were, became victims because they was in the wrong spot at the wrong time with the monster on the loose. Now, my thought was, older man kills 2 girls. Motive. Well, the motive isn't just to kill for no reason. It could be revenge upon a family member. But if it was that easy, I knew that law enforcement would have had that figured out in no time. Absolutely no time. It would have been like apparent, and they would have arrested the man. So I said, older man kills 2 younger girls. The survey says to me statistically that there will be DNA at the scene. Almost absolutely. Now, a person could say, well, it's touch DNA, or he spit, or something he handled, or, you know, something like that. And that's where I don't really want to go into this. I mean, I don't really want to talk about that. But what I can do is point people to what I believe might be a good way to share it without necessarily saying it. If you look up and do this, I'm going to post it right here. I'm going to put it right in the chat. Post these things, man. Look at them on Google. Or wait. I'm not even doing this. At put that into Google too. Well, I don't really see that one. If you put in those 3 right there into Google, any of those, look at the crime. Read what law enforcement said concerning each crime. Look into each crime, and you will know what I know concerning this man. This is a very brutal MFer. He is an evil man. Now, this is my whole thing on that. He knew that his DNA was safe. Why did he know that? Because of Mary Pryor and Ann Pates. They have his DNA. They've had it for a long time. They probably had it out in California and didn't know who he was. They had fingerprints in both of those cases, including the last one, fingerprints, DNA. They had all of it, and they could not name anyone, even with the FBI's help. They could not name who it was. Now, that is a very rare entity that would go kill and do these things to other human beings and have no priors. No priors to be checked against. No arrest ever in their history that would give DNA or fingerprints that would tell you who it was. Is very rare. Now, as brutal as he is and what he does to these people is over the top, but they all have one connecting thread. And that could be where the DNA had stemmed from. I'm not saying that, but it could be. Yeah, you know what? Fingerprints, DNA, man, you make a point. You know, same thing. It's like touch DNA. Man, if I leave my fingerprint, well, my DNA is going to be right there. I mean, you see where I'm at? That is touch DNA. I mean, like if I'm doing this, man, I just put DNA all over my shirt here. Can't see that, but there it is. And that is why Holman, when he says, well, yeah, we have DNA, but we have to exclude people that was around him. Well, then that tells me it's touch DNA. But then if it's touch DNA, then I have to question the crime. Okay, then I have to question well, look, it's very seriously doubted by me that he went there that day to abduct a person just to take him across the creek and just kill him and walk away. It's not very, it has little motive behind it. If the guy was just an outright killing monster like that, then anybody would do. Anybody. You know, but if you have to go looking for an opportunity, that suggests that you are a person that don't want to go pick somebody out. You would rather that person just come, be there. Car broke down, hitchhiking, walking the trail, somebody that you could grab, abduct, and leave with them without anybody else seeing it. That's what the guy thrived on right there. That's why he showed up at Monon High Bridge Trail that day. That's what he was going, that's what he was looking to do. So we don't know where the source stems from. However, I would say it's not really important to me. I know that they got suspect DNA, and I kind of knew that off the bat, and I definitely knew that they had suspect DNA when the investigator came to my house. I says, dude, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Do I look like that guy? Do I? Look at my eyes. Do you think I look like him, do you? Yeah, well, no, I agree. I mean, I agree with you. I do. But, well, we can't clear you without a DNA sample. Got DNA, don't you? Dude, I'd like to stay and talk with you, investigator, but I got to go video. Got to go make a video right now and let people know you guys got DNA. Talk at you later. Peace. Because I knew they had DNA. I knew that pretty much off the bat. I mean, it took a little bit of confirmation for them to come around and say as much. But I knew they had DNA. After 1 year's time, after the first year press conference, that's when I told everybody they had fingerprints. Because when he said, well, how did he phrase it? He says, well, I can't really speak on the DNA. And maybe he has committed a crime in his past, but we can find no traces of him. Well, if you're looking for traces of a person, that means you got to have something to go on, right? And to say that the person had never committed a crime before, well, you can't say that. I mean, you can say that. No, you can't. If I gave someone my DNA and they ran it and they said, yeah, I came back without a person. I said, well, they never took my DNA. All right. But if I gave law enforcement a fingerprint, they could go back to and tell me every place where I had been arrested because it's going to match every crime, every single one. And to have DNA, but not have a suspect, if I had DNA and it came back negative without a result, I could say, well, I can't say the guy's never been arrested, but he's never committed a violent act and been arrested at that time. But if I had his fingerprint and it came back without a person, then I could say this person has never been arrested before. Do you see the subtle difference? That's DNA. One is taken for violent crimes, one where you do 10 to 20, minimally. Whereas the other is what's taken if you get picked up for a PI, roll right here, roll here, roll here. They're going to fingerprint you every single time out. That's how I knew they had fingerprints. Then they come forward after like about a year and a half of it. Sheriff Lesenby says, well, we do have suggestive fingerprints. Of course you do. Of course. Knew that since year one, man. I told everybody, what everybody say. Pah! Dude, they had fingerprints in. No, did it? No, I beg to differ. They would not if the person had never been arrested. Mike, there comes a warning. One warning. No, I have not been cleared. I've been covered, but I'm positive I wasn't cleared because he couldn't. That's what the law. That's what he told me. Says, well, we can't clear you without DNA. Fair enough. Don't clear me. I don't give a shit. So I told him, man. I says, yeah, everybody that lives here can tell you I was here that day. I said, I ain't even got a car. I don't even like to leave the property. So guarantee you I wasn't there that day. I may have went to Carroll County. Might have went over to the dollar store as a prime example. That was about it. Somebody drove me over there. You see how it operates? Ain't no way that I could have hitchhiked over to Delphi, did anything, and it got back here. People would have said, man, where was you today? Believe me, everybody would have turned me in if I looked anything like Bridge Guy. People would have said, like, yeah, he wasn't even home that day. Believe me, man, I'd have to gain probably at about 40 some pounds. I'd have to cut my hair off. Man, all kinds of shit. Believe me, I wasn't cleared, but covered. Yeah. Now, I say that with this. At the first year press conference when Doug Carter was talking, he said, we've talked to a lot of people concerning this case. And we think that the people that we've talked to up to now, although all of them we can't clear, we do put them as covered because we don't feel that they did this. So while, yeah, well, some people have. I would suspect that some people have been cleared. You know, it's no different than if they had came to me and they said, well, we can't clear you without a DNA sample. Everybody, literally, not everybody, but most everybody would have said, dude, you can take it right now because I didn't do this. Well, I knew I didn't do it. You know, I don't have to prove that to him. You know, I don't have to prove that to law enforcement. And again, if law enforcement wants my DNA, they better come with a gun because I ain't handing my DNA over. My DNA belongs to me. And you know, the law enforcement of this once free nation is a bunch of shit. There it is. They got my fingerprints all over this country because it hasn't been a state. Yeah. There's states I've been in that I didn't get arrested, but it's rare. It is really rare, man. Jeez. Man, if I was to look back at my entire, you know, every time I got thrown in jail, man, you see, we got like Oregon, Oklahoma, Nevada, Texas, Indiana. I know I'm missing some. But I know in those, I have been arrested. Some multiple times. Yeah, they could have. And you know what? Fair enough. But the thing is that does differ. I'll put it to you like this. They could say, well, you threw it away. Are you with me? And I could say, well, while you say I threw it away, I can say it still belongs to me. You see where I'm at? Because my DNA is on my security agreement that I have a lien against my DNA. That way they can't claim it under any suspicion of. They say, well, you threw it away. Well, I didn't throw away all my DNA. You know, it belongs to me. And you are in possession of what belongs to me right now. Because your DNA differs from my DNA. Here's why. Your DNA is probably, in all likelihood, corporate DNA, whereas mine belongs to a natural person, of which I have owner in due course thereof. Therefore, they cannot claim it under any outside conditions. Now, if it was at a crime and they linked it back to me, I mean, like, let's say, let me use a good example. Oh man, there really are no good examples when it comes to DNA. They don't come and get your DNA for just crap, you know. But let's say I went and committed some crime. It isn't murder, but let's just say it's blue woo woo crime. And they want to get to the bottom of this. Well, the guy didn't leave a fingerprint, but it looked like he, I don't know, like picked up their, his face in there, and we got like little hair and smears of his DNA. We need to find that man with the DNA. Well, if they come to me, and if it's for some just rinky-dink crap or something like that, I would tell them that. You know, that's the direction I would go. So, man, you're not getting my DNA. You know, you're just not. And if they say, well, we got a warrant for it, so be it. Then you take my DNA. But it will get you nowhere in court because it is not going to be used because I freaking own it. And again, that differs from corporate. Because when they own your name, they own you and they own everything that you own. Whereas me, I own the capitalized name and am secured party creditor on everything that name owns, meaning that it belongs to me, the natural person, as I am not a corporate entity like other citizens. If you call yourself a citizen of the United States of America, you are most sadly mistaken, because there is no the United States of America, all capitalized. That is a corporation, just like the state of Indiana, or whatever state you may live in. You may live in the great state of, all capitalized, Michigan. You may live in the great state of Iowa, you know, or anything like that. It's how that they always use a corporation. The government is no longer a government. They are a corporate entity. Your state is a corporate entity under the federal corporate entity, as is your county, the county of Howard, county or state of Indiana, all capitalized. Against you, this is the way the court records will always read. Against you, all capitalized name. Is that your true and correct name, the judge says? Yes, it is, Your Honor. No, it ain't. It's all capitalized. You have been frauded, and now you just fell into their jurisdiction. That's the way that the respectful law enforcement works. The people that are there to protect and serve you and to protect your freedom have turned about and become the belligerent CSers of the world. They don't give a rap. They never did. Not once. And if they want to come on and say, oh, no, I love people, then why did you take that oath to the Constitution in the name of God, heretic? Because right now you're shitting in your own fucking mess. That's what I would tell them. All right. Hey, that's good to know, man. It's good to hear, Don Spain. Hope you had fun. Right on. Oh, yeah, me, Carl. And I think, you know what? Hey, this is no lie. This is no lie. I go back some years ago, man. Well, 3 years ago. Where was it? 3 years ago? I think it was. Yeah. It was in June of 2017, I do believe. I was on my way to Hollywood. Swear it. Completely swear it. A producer of a show, and I forget the name of it. It was a guy's name, like Jim Jeffries. I think it was Jim Jeffries. Anyway, man, this guy had reached me. True story. How in hell did he reach me? I forget how he reached me. No, no. That's it. He emailed me. Now, this guy emailed me on my old channel. And, he's saying that, well, we got a show and, we was looking for people to be on this show. And I was going over your videos and I wanted to know if you wanted to be on this show. Well, okay, immediately I'm thinking that this guy is a YouTuber. Okay. And he wanted to set up an interview to talk to me. Okay, man, fair enough. I got Skype, dude, Says, all right, well, this is my name. And I gave him my name on there. So, he went and did that. And he said, let's set this up for making a date. Like, let's say it was Tuesday at 6 o'clock. All right, I'll be there. So Tuesday at 6 o'clock, man, I click on there thinking the guy's a YouTuber. He's got a YouTube show. Well, the guy starts going over all of my videos and talking about him. He's like, well, you did one concerning, and I'm all like, after a couple, I'm like, dude, just for like going over my videos, you should certainly know a lot of them. I couldn't even name subscribers that know them that well. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, like, I spent a little time looking at your channel over. Like, well, I thank you. I said, well, can you travel? Yeah. So, well, if we do want you to be on, we would be, setting tickets up for you to fly to Hollywood. Okay. Well, and what he wanted, and the whole thing that he wanted was people that did not think like other people. I'm like, dude, you're talking to him. All right. Now, I'm heading to Hollywood. Okay. They get the flight and everything, man. They set it up. I fly down to Indianapolis Airport and I tell them, I go to the desk and tell them, I says, okay, man, I'm on this flight and I'm headed to, what's that? I forget the name of the airport. Maybe it's LAX. No, it was LAX. So they hand me my ticket. Okay, wow. Man, I'm out here. Well, now, see, I went through, what's that called? TS, the security people at airports. I go through that, man. They made me step in there and hold my hands up and do one of these, and all like that. Well, I get out, man. I'm putting my shoes and everything, and I got my basket where it came through. Well, as I get my stuff and as I'm like leaving, man, like right there in the basket behind mine, there was a little Apple, what I thought was a tablet. It was a small computer. I thought it was a tablet. Picked it up. All right. Well, I picked it up and I yelled to the lady. I said, hey, is this the last stop here? I'm holding it. And she's like, yeah, from here, you just go into your flight. And I'm like, okay, because I'm thinking it was the lady that was right in front of me going through the line, right? I think she's coming. Yeah, TSA. Is it TSA? Yeah, I think you're right, Ronnie Fox. I kept wanting to say TDA. So anyway, I'm looking for her to come back to it because right there's where you go down to get to the flight. Now, if I got down there because I was kind of running late for my flight and already knew that, but I was taking it on because I figured she's going to be coming right back to get it because she's en route with her carry-on with a Apple tablet. Okay. So I'm taking it back down that way, thinking she's coming right back this way where I can hand it off to her. No, it didn't happen. In fact, I got to my gate and found out that my flight had already left. So, assuming at that point that she'd already got on a flight, and I was smoking at the time 3 years ago, so I was going out to smoke a cigarette, I sit down and I contacted, because it was the very first time, only time in my life, that I ever sat down with the cell phone to send a message to someone. But it was mine, and I had to send it to the producer of the show and tell him I missed the flight. But I'm making a connecting flight that's going through Phoenix. I will be there 3 hours late because I was supposed to meet a guy that had the limo there. So I'm sitting there and I'm sending this message when security comes up. Actually, it was law enforcement and says, sir, could you gather your stuff and come over here and talk with us for a minute? So I gathered everything and I says, that's not mine. Whose is it? It's the lady that was in front of me at the TSA line. She goes, oh yeah, okay. Could you pick that up too? I hand it to her. So it don't belong to me, but there you go. Well, they arrested me for trying to steal. At first it was theft, but I did not steal anything because I didn't leave the locality with it. You know, it's like walking in the store and picking up a can of beans. It's fine if you pick up a can of beans, but don't leave the store without paying. So I was not in the process of stealing, but they did arrest me. Now, when I'm sitting in the jail, I don't even know what you call it. I'll call it a dungeon or whatever it is. It's a single room for security. The guy came in there because I told him, I says, you've got to contact this guy on my cell phone and tell him that I will not be there. The guy came in there and he looked at me and he says, you know, you look like George Carlin. I said, really? I don't think I look a damn thing like George Carlin, but thank you, man. The guy's kind of a hero of mine. And I was arrested. I was arrested, people, and I never made it to Hollywood. I was very pissed about that. I still am. Because had I made it to Hollywood, my name would have been big. Yeah, I don't really want a big name, though. Really don't. Pretty low key. I would have bribed. Yeah, but see, I don't look like Carlin. I don't look anything like Carlin. Wish I sounded a little like Carlin. Carlin had a cool voice. He did. He had rhythm in what he says. But, you know, I mean, he had that, you know, where he could talk about something really big, man. Something mind-blowingly, man, like enlightening upon the world, you know, just total enlightening. But he put it in such a funny way. You know, he was talking very deep, but it was funny. I loved Carlin, man. Oh, trying to steal. That was the charge. They stopped theft to trying to steal. I wasn't trying to steal. I was going to get a cigarette probably in about 10 minutes. Would have dropped it back off at TSA. I wasn't going to leave the premises with it because that's theft. I wouldn't have got on an airplane trying to get to LA because I would know that I'd be arrested getting off of that airplane for stealing a little bitty computer. It was really lame. It was really lame. It was, man. And I mean, I'll tell you right now, same thing as I would on my old channel, man. Same thing applies. If you go to an international airport, any airport like that, look, man, they probably got cameras in the commode, man. They probably got them in the urinal. There wasn't any place where you can go where you ain't on 20 cameras. It ain't like I wouldn't know that they knew that I picked it up. That was clearly apparent in my mind. But I mean, I was returning it because I clearly felt that the lady got on the thing because I did not see her at any gate leading to mine, and that was her on carry-on. So I felt that she had made it. You know, I had got it on the flight, and I had all day to get it back there, and I had 3+ hours before my next flight left. You know what? Yeah, and I do have to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody here, everyone, and thank you very much, Donnie. Let me know, and we will head right out there. But I do want everybody to have a very great Thanksgiving. We at least have a little to be thankful for. I have Puppy to be thankful for, you know. I have that, and I tell him that every day. I'm just grateful shit to have you, Puppy, you little impaler. So, I mean, I got things to be thankful for, and I love life. I really do. I love living. I just wish that all of us, every single soul upon this earth, were living in a free world, where every country was free, where every man had his own God-given rights to do as he pleased. That's the world we should live in. That's the world that was taken away. And one day, and believe me, if that day does ever come, it'll be once everybody realizes that, oh, wait a minute, we're livestock now, aren't we? Because that is what's coming. How do they know what you're thinking? Oh, you mean that? Right. Well, see, Greeno was with me, man. And Greeno was like this, the same way on that. He said, dude, man, I can beat this in court in 5 minutes. And I mean, he was using the same rationale that I was, because I told him, I said, man, I didn't leave the premises with it. I didn't leave the building with it. How could they say I was trying to steal? They don't know. And that's what I was going to take to the judge. The same thing. They don't know. In fact, I would object to the point of, okay, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 100, and I want the prosecution to guess what that number, or I want them to tell me what that number is I'm thinking. Because clearly, they can read minds. It's kind of really crappy. But anyway, man, I do want everybody out there to have a great Thanksgiving. I am still trying to get these videos completely done. It's just that every time that I get about halfway done with one, I think, well, that ain't the way I want to phrase it. If there's anybody out there that knows how to put a video into a good format, reach me, because that's where I am neglecting. It's just like with the timeline. The way that I would do the timeline would be the format that I would use in editing, in presenting it would be way different than the way that it should be done. Now, if I looked at a show that carried a format that I could kind of like follow, like maybe I should show the people, then I should show the times of arrival. Maybe I should show the incidents, because there is no place on that trail, that I do not have video footage of. None, nothing. It is crazy the amount of video I got from that trail. I don't think that there's one trail out there that it's ever been covered like I have covered that trail. Yeah, and Puppy and Rosie. Thank you, Murder. Believe me, I don't even think that. Well, I don't know. I mean, Rosa might have lived in America, man. I mean, she might not. It's hard to say, man. I don't know, man. I really don't. I would reach her, but I don't know, man. She'd probably be like, oh, geez, another one of those loony fans that I have. He's probably going to say hello to me in Spanish. Watch. Well, anyway, it is 8 o'clock, everyone. And I thank everybody for their time, especially if you've made it through 2 hours. I always run 2 hours anyway, but that's really all that I got right now. I want everybody to have a great Thanksgiving. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I got to release the Wrath. That's why I named him, man. I should name him like Vladimir Wrath Lopez or something. Give me a minute, man. Let me go snatch him up. Come here, puppy. Yeah. Louis Puppy. What? No, it's me. It's me. I love Puppy. Look at him, man. Isn't he adorable? Look at biting, man. Would you see this? He's just barely biting. How you going? Hold on here. And that too. Michael J. Cat and Puppy 2. Look at him, man. Isn't he getting big? He's getting big now. You see, he was born about August 7th. Oh, that is a big yawn, Bear. Oh, yeah, it is. Look at Billy, man. I love Puppy. But anyway, love you all more. And I will see you next week, next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Be here. Peace, everybody. Moderators, you guys rock, man. Peace all.